What does no-till gardening mean to you?
No-till, it just goes far beyond cannabis. It's like how our food should be grown, how our livestock should be raised. It's just a way of life. Going back to how they farmed thousands of years ago indigenously, we're doing that indoors. What no-till means to me is really just like a way of life and a way of bettering our future generations, being able to show people like, hey, you can garden this way at home, you can garden this way with food, really just trying to push that envelope further.
There's a lot of differences that we see farming no-till, farming in living soil. And a lot of it comes down to the terpene production, the quality of the flower, the resin production as well, just seeing the leaves just railed out in trichomes. And really just seeing the health of the plant grow how it wants to grow and how it's utilizing all the minerals in the soil. Everything that goes into the soil, we can directly see the plant either liking it or not liking it. And if it's not liking it, we can adapt and we can adjust things. But we're not having to add in all these synthetic chemicals to be able to feed the plant. We're feeding the plant what plants have been eating for millions of years.
Today's the day. No-till Kings, Harvest Day. What you guys know about that Harvest Day? We're about to pull down some no-till organic harvest. Wait till you see what these guys are up to. Let's see what's up.
Come on in, guys. Welcome to our facility.
Welcome to the No-Till Kings, huh? Wait till you see what we got in store. No-till organic. The homie's gonna give it to you. Let's speak a little bit about what we're gonna see today.
So we got a few of our flower rooms to give you guys a tour of, our mom room, and we're gonna go in depth in how we cultivate in living soil. Come on in. So this is our center hallway here. We're gonna take you right into the mom room. All of these mother plants that we're cultivating are in living soil. I'm gonna grab a pair of gloves and we'll kind of pull some of that soil out so we can show what's going on.
Beautiful in here, man. It feels great too. This is a gorgeous mom room. I love this.
Yeah, we never throw away our soil, not even in the mom's stuff. It's super dope.
Wow. So how old would this soil in here be right now?
Some of them are on their 10th cycle, 12th cycle. It's pretty
Yeah, some are even more. All these, a lot of them we've been growing from the start. So it's been almost 3 years now in some of these pots that we've been farming in. And you can see, I mean, there's old stalks in a lot of these that we leave in there and we just plant the next round. And all these other pots that are sitting around the room are just kind of cycling. The worms are going through the roots, they're breaking down the old material, and they're creating rich worm castings throughout all the pots.
And so even when you harvest a mom or restart a mom, you still keep the soil fully beneficial, fully up to par, and like happy.
Yep.
So that when you restart the next mom in there, it's literally like picking it up while it's already speeding wet.
Exactly. Wow. And we'll soil test. So we'll test all the soil for the mineral content so we can amend it with certain amendments and different minerals that we might be losing throughout different growth cycles of the plant. As they start to get small, as the plants get much larger, and as we're taking clones off of them, they will deplete certain minerals in the soil that we'll have to replenish.
Okay. Different moms, different strains eat different.
Yep.
This pot's probably better over here if you want to take a shot right here.
Beautiful moms.
Let's see if we got some good worms in here. Oh,
so
there's a
all
worm.
those mites, most growers would like freak out, right? Well, they're actually beneficial mites. You can see right here some worms right there.
Yeah, you got one? A lot of times as we disturb the topsoil lightly, the worms will start to evacuate the area and really kind of go down a couple more inches.
There you go. Wow.
So we're going to be working with like 3 main types of worms. We're going to be working with the blue worm, the European nightcrawler, and the red wiggler. The red wiggler is what our logo is after. That's going to be like the most valuable player worm. That's going to be like the best for breeding capabilities, the best for composting, all around like best worm to compost. But in our pots, there's the 3. The European nightcrawler is going to be like the fat earthworm, that you see a lot when it rains. They're on like the sidewalk, That's going to be the European nightcrawler. It's pretty much like the larger cousin of the red wiggler. It's just a little bit slower at reproducing. So that's why red wiggler wins the overall title of like the best composting worm. And then blue worms are going to be very cold sensitive. So for like us, it doesn't matter, but if you're composting like, you know, up north or something, blue worms aren't going to be that great. But,
Man, the moms look great too. What strains are some of these?
Yeah, this one here, this is a Gelato 41. So this is one of the cuts we got from Seed Junkie. And then we got a lot of our own cuts too. Like this is Jack the Ripper. The Jack Mom grows awesome. It's really a beautiful plant, kind of classic Jack style. But yeah, this is the Jack the Ripper.
Beautiful,
And
man.
then we got one cookies and cream left right here.
Big mom.
Yeah, so this one is kind of on its way out. We'll maybe take a few more cuts to re-mom it. We'll plant another one of those in the next probably few weeks.
Ooh, that one's a funky one. That's a cool
Yeah,
one.
this is another Jack too. And then we had some White Widow moms actually. I think they were smaller.
Oh, we got a dope White Widow.
And then this is the 41?
This one's the 41
Wow,
here.
beautiful color
and then
too, like that
The ones
nightshade.
in the back, this is the SFV times Animal Mints.
Woo.
And it grows kind of like a classic OG. It's a little more airy, a little spacious, but like taller kind of, I don't want to call them lankier branches, but it's more like a stretched branch in veg. But it's a real nice looking plant. Like it's one of my favorite strains. I love OG personally.
Yeah.
And the 41 is just gas.
It's a beautiful looking plant too. It has like that dark nightshade, like almost like a purplish, but
For sure.
dark green. Like
Yeah,
so you'll monthly go through and test the soil, or you go as the plant's needed and just make sure, okay, we need more potassium, or we need to add in what are some of the other things that come up?
Yeah, so in our soil testing, it'll be everything. We'll test for the full mineral content, so magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, you name it, potassium, everything. Nitrogen, the organic matter in the soil, so how much leaf material we're actually putting back into the soil. We'll have an organic matter content as well. But in the flower rooms, we'll test about, if we're able to, we'll test twice a harvest. Otherwise, it'll be once a harvest. But we really try to do twice so that we can top dress mid-cycle, as well as have another one at the end of the cycle so we can top dress on the next replanting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and in the mom room, we'll really try to do it. If we can do it once a month, we will. Otherwise, it'll be maybe once every month and a half.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And with the mom rooms, with the moms, we can really use the same top dressing for a little longer because the flower rooms are taking out more, just in general. And with the rotation of strains, each strain is going to eat a little differently.
Yeah. Flowering plants putting on so much weight and so much flower, thinking they're about to reproduce and not.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's such a different eating cycle.
Here's like an old mom, and the worms just, if you wiggle it, it'll just like break off there. See that? All that just getting decomposed. There's the old roots right there, and it just all gets decomposed and just keeps getting better with time. I mean, it's crazy. We never have to throw away any soil. There's another one right there. Wiggle, wiggle. See that? Look at that.
Wow. And that's called like basically the bio web or the food web?
Yeah, so right by the root zone is going to be what's called the rhizosphere, and that's going to be like the immediate soil touching the roots right there. And then this is going to be just all the rhizosphere right there, like those little root hairs, and that's where the nutrients go, like get uptaken through to the plant.
All the pots that we keep lined around the room, these are mother pots that are on their off cycle. So after we've grown a mother plant in it, the pot needs to rest for between 1 to 2 months. And that's why we have a lot of them. We'll rotate them around the room and give them a lot of time to rest, where the worms are gonna break down the root mass that's in the pot, and they're gonna turn those roots into nitrogen-rich worm castings, as well as they're gonna help aerate the soil and make it easy to plant in when we need to put a new mom in it.
And this setup, this style of growing, is one of the most interesting out there. It really is. You're building, your whole thought process is, I need to put in the soil, or I need to make sure what's in the soil is exactly what the plant needs at all times, instead of this constant feeding process. It's a building. It's like building blocks. I don't know, it's very interesting. I love to see when growers go this route. I think it's one of the most natural processes I've ever seen with plants. I mean, especially, I mean, if you were going to want to eat fruit this way, this would be the most expensive fruit. So why wouldn't it be the most expensive cannabis? That's my thoughts on it.
And we hunted this from seed. It's really got like a, it carries more of like a fruity terp profile from the Brazilian sativa that's crossed in it. So White Widow classically, there's a lot of old classic strains like Sour D, White Widow, a lot of old ones, even, you know, a Jack strain, which we have Jack the Ripper hunted from seed. Our Jack is very classic Jack as you know it, but some strains that people have seeds of an old name are not going to be the same as like the original cut that people know, just because it's going to be now, it's a new seed, it's going to be a sister to that plant, but it's going to be different potentially. And so we think our White Widow definitely, it has a real fruity terp profile. We're really excited to get it on the market.
Works here, you know, they got their stations or their glasses. It's not, you know, it's just not all over the table and everyone just grabs at it when they need it, you know. It's very thought through, and it's very clean, just like these gloves. They're about to be terpy.
So we'll kind of take a tour from flower room to flower room, and we'll show you how it starts. And actually what we have to do, because we farm in living soil, we have to veg in our flower rooms to get the plants adjusted to the soil. It's one of the original rooms. It's got the HPS lights. We've got 1,000-watt Gavitas in here. So currently these plants have been vegging for just under 2 weeks, and that's why they don't have individual tags yet. Once we flower these plants, they'll all get individual tags as per the state requirements. But what we have to do, because we're farming in living soil, is we need the plants to get adjusted to the soil. And we actually just applied a top dressing. So we just applied a mixture of some amendments, and we're about to water the amendments in with a compost extract. So we've got biodynamic compost that we'll show you guys that we water into the soil. And that really helps just get the numbers up in terms of the microbiology and the nematodes and all the beneficial fungal networks that are in the soil. Doing the compost extracts really helps get those numbers up and creates a good environment in the soil. We're gonna flip these to flower in about a week or so, maybe like 5 days. By the end of the week or on Monday, this room will be flipped to flower. But this is how it starts. We run half the rows on for the lights on, just like the mom room. So the light is on 24 hours in here, but it's only 12 hours of direct light and 12 hours of indirect light. But by letting them veg in the flower rooms for up to 2 weeks or even a little longer, it really ensures that the plants are not going to get shocked at all from being transitioned in and then flipping right away.
And these are movable beds?
Correct, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Look
so
at
like,
this.
I'm gonna move this one over.
Look at this. This is, dude. Rare. That is so rare to have, to be able to have this style of growing and be able to move your pots like the other room and then be able to move your beds. Very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so both of these rows are mimosa. So we'll have a half a room of mimosa coming down, and then we've got a bunch of jealousy over there, and then the front section here is a mixed row of some pheno hunt.
Hell yeah.
Some pheno hunt stuff.
The back row of our rooms is always new stuff. Like put them in the floor, put forward. Yeah.
Exactly. But one thing that's interesting, for our style of farming in soil beds, what we found is we need to run fewer plants actually, because there's too much root competition and space that gets taken up. So we used to run 4 plants wide. Now we run 2, and we've actually increased yield.
Yeah.
Wow, so there you go.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And that's something that took us a while to learn. We were so hesitant to cut plants out.
Yeah.
So hesitant.
We just had this discussion about that.
Exactly. And so we originally started with like half a row, and we were like, whoa, there's a difference. These plants are getting way bigger. And what we found is like, these plants just need space. When they're packed in, especially in a soil bed where they're all next to each other, they need space. Otherwise, we'll be hindering the growth by packing too many in one body of soil. So this is compost extract. So right here, we have dumped a full cup. I'll actually show you, we've got some compost right here. So we take biodynamic compost, and this has a ton of beneficials in here. There's nematodes, microorganisms, beneficial fungal networks, and all of that is microscopic. You can't actually see it. It has to be looked at on a microscope slide. And so this we will put into the water, we'll mix it, and then as we're scooping, we constantly are mixing to pull from the bottom. because nematodes actually will sink in water 10 seconds after they're dumped in. They'll sink to the bottom of the water. And so we have to be constantly stirring to get it into the soil. And so what we'll do is we'll alternate compost extracts and our nutrient feeds that have organics alive in them. And we run the organics alive nutrients, which are made through a fermentation process. And that's pretty much what we run. We run RO water, compost extract, and then organics alive, as well as other beneficials that are all like organic listed in terms of getting the mineral content up. So this is a yard of compost. This is biodynamic compost that's been screened. It takes months to produce this. And so we'll take a cup of it, 2 cups for 2 5-gallon buckets, and then that's what goes into the bucket, and we're using 10 gallons of compost water per row. And so we're gonna show you how we put that down. So what we're doing here is we're watering in compost extract. So we've got Noah, our general manager right here, and David, our assistant general manager. They run our cultivation side. And these guys are awesome. We couldn't do it without them. What we're doing is we're putting down a few cups of compost every several plants. So there's a specific amount that we put down as we go along the bed, but throughout the whole bed, we'll be putting 5 gallons on each side. And we'll do that for each bed. If it's a little bit drier, we'll do a second pass of compost water to really kind of help it soak in and get into the root zone of the soil.
And these plants, as they're flowering, they draw so much nutrients from. That's why you see the leaves start to go yellow and copper, you know, in full into bloom. It's because the nugs are pulling so much that they need to replenish. It's such a cool process. It's a very natural process.
And right now we are on our 11th cycle in this room. So we have harvested 10 times in the same body of soil. This is our 11th time farming in here.
And is it the longer you go, the better it gets? Or?
Yeah, what we've seen with this room and the one next door that have been farming 11 and 12 cycles, if we soil test and we amend it properly, the soil absolutely gets better. It's much richer, and we can even see it when we pull soil core samples from this room compared to a new room. You can see the difference in the soil when you're 6 or 10 inches down. It's night and day. They look so much different, and that's because this soil has turned a lot. It has a lot more of a humus texture, where it's a rich, nutrient-dense soil that has a lot of worm castings in it.
And so this style of growing, it's like super important to basically test your soil all the time, so you can gauge where you're at and where you're going.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. And that's why we need to do soil analysis once to twice a harvest, so we can really see the elemental content and the mineral content of everything in the soil, whether it's nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, all your trace minerals, everything that we need to see in there. We soil test for that, so we know if we're deficient on anything.
Look how happy. Just look at these, like, look at the stalk, right? Look at the thickness of the stalk on such a short plant. The leaf, I mean, just beautiful plant, happy plant. You know this is gonna go into the flowering cycle, giving it its best shot, right? Its best shot at producing the best quality and the best output it could possibly go. Like, I mean, this happy plants equal happy fruits.
So this room is just popping off right now. We're about to be in week 3, coming Saturday, so we're middle of week 2 right now. This is one of our new LED rooms, and it's wild. The plants got huge, especially the jealousy. The jealousy got enormous. This is the largest plants we've probably grown, especially in this room. We had to raise the lights for the jealousy, which we haven't had to raise on the other rows yet. But yeah, this room's crushing it. So we're in full flower. Everything's got a tag as the state requires. This is jealousy, which we got the cut from Seed Junkie. This is cookies and cream right here. We hunted this from seed. This is an exotic genetic strain. So we hunted this from seed. This plant's beautiful, and everything's looking just awesome right now. Yeah, we're praying to the lights.
Wow.
Yeah, these rooms came out really awesome. These are, like, we learned a lot in the other 2 rooms that we implemented into these rooms of just how we space stuff. Even adding an extra 2 inches on the side of the bed makes a huge difference to have more space to walk. Things like that we just, didn't initially think of or know that we needed when we built out the first 2 rooms. So we've learned a lot. And so the HPS rooms were about to transition to LEDs. Yeah, we're going hard on LEDs. It's the way of the future. The yield is there, the quality's there. It's just about dialing in all the room parameters. because things run differently. The dehues run differently, the AC runs differently when it recognizes the heat load from these lights compared to the other lights.
We just picked up the Lux for the other 2 rooms because they're discontinuing, as everyone knows. So
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
One of the conversation that keeps coming up is like, because we run Lux as well, and I run Lux LEDs and I run Lux DEs, and so like my partners are like, should we buy extras just to put them in the corner? Like, what's happening? And it's like, it's crazy because people want to hate on the company, and it's like, yo, the reason they're selling out, like it's because they did so well. They literally became the #1 competitor to Gavita. And then, Gavita was like, we can't fucking do this anymore. They're literally about to eat our market share.
Yeah, straight up.
So let's just take them out.
Yeah.
We'll go back to selling Gavitas, and and Hawthorne does their thing. But it's
That's
like,
exactly what we thought.
Yeah.
it's like, yo, they put out a great spectrum, and that's the thing people don't understand with LEDs is like, you're buying the light, but you're also buying the spectrum. So you gotta like the flower it produces, like you said. And I think Lux produces the best spectrum that I've come across as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hands
really
down,
do.
no, for sure.
It's been better yield, better terps, better
And
everything.
and it's just like what people don't understand too is the mounting hardware and the electrical connection for these lights are much easier to work with than Gavitas. They're plug and play. You need to have an electrician come and wire in Gavitas, which we have. Like we have Gavitas too, but those are the things that we learn, and that's why we're stoked to have Lux. It's a bummer they're going to be shut down, but yeah, we just got more. We got more coming.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We're gonna crush it with it. So that's we feel the same.
Just laid some fresh cannabis stalk mulch down.
And so, what's the process on that? Talk about like, so when it's last harvest
out of our mom. So like the best cannabis stalk is made from our mother plants because it's the thickest stem. So thicker stem shreds more like wood chips, and that's what we try to mulch up. We have to let it dry out completely, so that we're not going to be bringing in any bad bacteria or anything or any mold spores. Yeah. So we let everything completely dry out, and then we'll chip it up with the chipper. And then we basically just spread it back into the soil. And over time, the worms will eat it, they'll decompose, they'll break it down, and then we'll re-add it.
We do grind up the thinner stalk as well, but they just won't grind as well. They'll kind of split like that, as opposed to like the thicker stalk is gonna make that like really nice wood chip right there, you know?
Yeah, this room's popping off. We're excited about it.
Bro, plants are super happy. What strain is this right here?
So this is more Jealousy.
Wow.
This is a mixed row, so we basically have a full row of Jealousy cookies and then a full row of Jack. This is Jack the Ripper right here. The Jack grows wild, so our Jack the Ripper, it's a little bit shorter of a plant, but
like a bush.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a bush Jack, but it's the terps are on point.
The best Jack I've ever seen, hands down, in my opinion.
Thank you.
They have the Jack cut. Most of the time people say this without Jack, but this is the Jack that you want. Like, this is the one that actually gives Jack the great name. Like, why people actually love smoking it and actually go after it. This is the premier Jack. And it's not like, oh, they have a cut and they grow it better than I've ever seen anybody else do it. It's just fire, bro. Beautiful cut.
And this one we actually hunted from seed. We got the seeds I bought the seeds from Subcool at a Cannabis Cup. And we held them for a few years. They were good. They stayed good because not all seeds stay good. Yeah. Sometimes you get 10 packs and half of them suck or they don't even pop.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But yeah, the Jack's been a real winner for us. It's one of the most popular strains that we grow. And I think part of it is just not a lot of people are farming those types of terps indoors. So it's a staple for sure.
Especially not this no-till, organic grown. I mean, that's the top of the top. And this, I mean, look at the stem thickness. You know that's going to throw down the bud size. Look at this. This one. Look at that. Look at that.
And the Jealousy is super unique because it's
Beautiful.
such a purple plant. Like a lot of times when you see purple streaking, you can be deficient, but this is how this plant grows.
Oh, you can look at it. It's all green, and then right when it hits to the leaf, it's literally a line. There's a line where it changes. I mean, what a cool genetic.
Yeah, these leaves will almost get like jet purple at the end. They're just wild looking. We just cut the other day, so it'll dry for a few weeks, and then we'll put it through the shredder.
And all these bins are made for direct food contact too.
Yeah, every bin that we use is like these are dirty bins because they have mulch in them, but we've got like 30 of them that we use for harvested cannabis and what we use to transfer the plants into the dry room. They're all made for direct food contact, so it's a food grade plastic. So this is our other LED room we just got going. We're on our second cycle here. We're about to be chopping the mimosa, and it just smells wonderful in this room. once you get in, it's just that like, kind of like mimosa candy hits you in the face.
Dude.
It's really awesome. So this mimosa is just beautiful. Here, go ahead and rub one of those.
It smells incredible in here.
Rub one of the lowers there. It's just like, I mean, you just want to eat it. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, yours, it's the same with your guys' Jack. It's a very different, like you can't be like, oh, this is like it's unlike any other Jack you've had, and it's the same with this. This mimosa is unlike any mimosa I've smelled before. It's very different. Wow.
Yeah, the mimosa is killer. So we've got a full row and then a half a row of mimosa split with the White Widow. And we've got a full row of the White Widow right here. This one's looking awesome. And same thing, this one you'll feel it. It's like, the terps are like almost greasier. This is the first time. It's like a wet terp.
The other one, I ran my hand and it wanted to grab it.
Yep.
This one you run your hand and it just slides.
This one smells crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
White Widow? Wow.
That's the White Widow pheno that we found. So it's much fruitier of a terp.
But even that, it does have that little bit of that chemi.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
funk.
It's got that chem in it too, for sure.
Beautiful.
And then this is Gelato 41. So this is gonna start to get that purple, what you were talking about earlier, that dark green. And this one is just gas.
What a great cut. Look at it stacking. Dude, look at it stacking up.
This one's just straight gas. We're ending week 6 right now. So actually, day 49 will be on like Friday, where mimosa will be pretty much done now.
Funky.
Yeah, mimosa's a really early finishing strain.
Wow, yeah, man, this is beautiful. This row, look at them all dancing. Wow, gorgeous. Gorgeous flowers, bro.
And this will be our first run of White Widow for the market. We're hoping it's gonna crush.
I'm really excited for the White Widow.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find a good one since I started growing. That and a Northern Lights, those nostalgic strains, you know? Even if it's not that like original cut, there's something about, you know, having that nostalgia.
It's still the same genetics.
Yeah.
It's like people got used to one pheno.
Right.
They didn't realize that it's like there's a huge genetics pool of that same cross.
Exactly.
I love the color starting to come in too. You can see little bits of color starting to pop on the, man, beautiful, bro. Absolutely beautiful. People are sativa lovers or people that want a true, like, man, I miss the old school smells and the old school genetic. This is all day long.
Hell yeah, appreciate that.
Ooh, and then you got the new school right behind you.
The 41, and this is our first run of the 41 under LEDs, and it's stacking, let me tell you. So that's why we're going hard with it, because what we also get is we get that overlap that we don't get with the HPS, and we're running 25% less electricity with the LEDs. So it's, for us, we just got to do it.
I'm excited for you guys.
Look at that thing.
And we keep our dry room cold, 60 degrees, 60% humidity. This room came out awesome. I built this room last, so the floor came out sick. The cove base looks beautiful. Like, I got really good at troweling by the end of it, and I haven't had to do it since. But this room came out awesome looking. We kind of go old school with how we dry. We hang on trellis netting. I love it. And we keep it cold, super cold. All these bins, like we were talking about earlier, these are all made for direct food contact. So these are food grade bins, it's food grade plastic. The lids are all food grade. And right now we're actually got some Jack the Ripper in here. So this has been drying for about 16, 18 days, and then we put it in these bins. And it'll sit for up to a few days, up to a week, and it just stays perfect. So that's Jack. If you give that a pinch, it's just, oh, I mean, it's just classic. Oh, man, just classic Jack.
Turf's cranking. I love these bins, man. The food grade bins.
Yeah, they're awesome, and
it's
they
the little steps like that,
yeah.
you know, that really go a long way. A lot of people overlook. The attention to detail is really important to quality.
When did this harvest just came down?
Yeah, this we chopped down about 2 weeks ago, roughly, roughly right around then.
And so you'll hang it for what, about
we'll
7
hang
to 10
about,
days or what?
I'll do a full 14-day hang.
Okay.
And then we'll put them in bins after that. These ones, because of Thanksgiving time, we were off for a few days. I left the lids like cracked open for about 5 days, and it worked really well because we don't want to get mold or anything like that.
It's like a mini cure almost.
Exactly. And by keeping them on the stem, it really helps slow down the drying process so we don't just crisp it out to nothing. But drying is one of the most important things in farming cannabis because we can grow a plant phenomenally well, it looks awesome, and then when you go to dry it, you can ruin everything in 1 week. And that's just the truth. Drying cannabis is tough, but when you have the space set up for it, it goes real smooth. It's just, it's it's a finicky. There's a lot of moisture content in cannabis, and that's where, you know, getting the dry right is critical, so we don't have any mold, we don't have any issues.
Or even reminiscence of smell, right?
Exactly,
It's like you want
chlorophyll,
all
yeah.
that basically humidity or moisture to exit and just leaving you the essence of the plant.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these are all filled with different flowers?
Actually, this is all Jack.
All Jack,
Yeah,
wow,
so we had a big
beautiful.
Jack run.
Here, let's take a look.
Let me get another game too open. Here, let's pop them.
Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the crystal content.
You can do a shot down the road here.
Wow. Take a look. Look at that. Oh man, it got you. Look at that. Wow. That is a gorgeous view.
We'll show you guys our trim room. We keep it cold just like the dry room, so everything kind of stays at the same temperature and humidity. Come on in.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, the Santa Cruz shredder, that took a long time to get. Definitely awesome. So
Oh,
we're trimming up
smells
some
fantastic.
we're trimming up some Jack the Ripper right now. And let me open a fresh pack. We'll take a look at that.
Dude, it smells so good in here. It's hard to even explain it. I'm like trying to think like, how do I explain what it smells like? It's tough. Oh, wow. Dude, and it even smells different there than it does with a single bud. It's so intense.
Nothing like a turkey bag.
I would say Hawaiian pineapple. And like, what do you think it smells like? You guys grow it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like for people that know, because like Jack is like a staple of a strain. Like you compare things to Jack, like you compare it to OG or something like that. This is like the classic Jack, but it doesn't really get foxtaily like Jack can. It's almost like a candy Jack mixed with like a classic Jack. But it's just that it's that yeah, it's like that lemony kind of like candy pine soul. It's just like it's really like classic, you know, piney Jack terps.
Bro, covered in crystals, and the room smells incredible.
Just,
Look
I
at
mean,
that.
some of these buds are just beautiful.
Oh, the
That's
smell.
classic Jack right there.
This is one of the ones that a lot of the people, dispensaries really like, and smokers really like from you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. It's it really brings everyone back. People that are either looking for a more sativa strain or they're looking for the terps that are not around much anymore. The Jack really hits the nose on everything.
One of the top sativas I've seen in Southern California by far. It's rare to see sativas, especially at this quality, and now grown organically, no-till, and a specific pheno that's not like anything you've had. Like this is almost like, for guys who have had Golden Goat before, it almost has like Jack and Golden Goat combo. It takes the best. It has that, because like I compare Golden Goat to like a fresh pineapple.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
It has some type of pineapple sweetness, but you can tell that it's potent. Like I can tell just by the smell and the look, crystal content, that that like, almost not chemi, but chemi.
Yeah, it's a mix like it's like a lemon, you know, it's a lemon chem almost with like a Jack nose trailing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we love it. We're growing a lot of it, and it's great on all ends. Extracts, joints, flour, it's phenomenal.
Man, I want to smoke some. Oh wow, dude, this is most people's packs.
Yeah, straight up. No, I know.
I swear to God.
Yeah. Like we already weighed out the gelato. Like this is what didn't get put into jars.
So good.
Yeah, shit's fire.
Wow, straight gelato 41, man.
And this will be for pre-roll. So we grind all this up in our Santa Cruz shredder, and then we make all the pre-rolls.
And then we print our, like, after it gets sent out, we like print our own testing label in-house too, and we sticker that on.
Wow.
Or we give it to our distro to sticker it on, because we can't sticker it ourselves.
Can we open this up?
Yeah. You can go for it.
Dude, look at this.
You pop it open.
Absolutely gorgeous, man. Even got the name. Look at this.
We just made these, so these will get sent out to our distributor, and they'll get tested. So we make all the pre-rolls. We grind up the flour from the smalls. We fill the cones. We tie, like, we flatten them nicely so that the joint smokes perfectly. And one thing with our pre-rolls, like, I want to be able to grab any pre-roll from the middle of the pack, and it should smoke perfectly. And they do it, and that's what we really pride ourselves on with our pre-rolls. Because we grind everything by hand, we're using the Santa Cruz shredder, it grinds it just like how you would grind it at home to roll up. And that's a huge reason why our pre-rolls smoke really nicely.
everyone else is grinding with machine grinders.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes like a keef joint.
Literally.
And then you just, everything collapses, you get frustrated,
Yep.
you have to, and all of the joint tubes
Yeah.
and our lids are made out of reclaimed ocean plastics as well. You can see on the bottom there, so it costs us a little more, but
Support the brand, man. Smoke a Fire pre-roll. Where are these located? What shop? A bunch of shops.
These
carrying
are about to go out, but most of the
Awesome.
shops that we're in, which is all listed on our website on notillkings.com, we've got a store locator. And then we always want people to check the wheat maps because some stores' inventory are changing. But most of the shops we're in like to pick up the pre-rolls as well. This SFV one will be dropping very soon.
we have all the store info on the store locator, numbers, address of the stores. We always recommend you to call to make sure that whatever you want is in stock at
Yep.
the stores. We're about in 33 locations right now up and down the coast of California, so we're super hyped on that. Heavy in San Diego, LA. We're now in Santa Cruz, and we're tapping into like San Francisco and Fairfield as well. So
I can only imagine, bro. I mean, there's very few joints I want to smoke after seeing what you guys put in your joints. It's like most people's packs. I
Yeah.
mean, people will be all over those, especially
sure.
with the flavors and the way, the amount of care as a Santa Cruz shredder versus a powdered ass joint. I mean, it's just every step of it is actually care, knowledge, intention. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, we used to keep saying something, and this is something: grown to smoke or grown to sell, right? There's two different kinds. Grown to smoke is when you grind it by hand in a Santa Cruz, put it in, you worry about how it's folded over, you care about the joint, it goes, everything. Grown to sell, it's a whole other thing. We already know what that's like. That's half
Yeah.
the industry we've seen. That's the reason we're doing this show. It's the reason we're highlighting these guys, because that's not what anyone wants. That's not what we want to smoke.
Hell yeah. Couldn't have said it better. Straight up. Straight up.
Dude, look at that. Oh my God.
Right now, so we just run reverse osmosis water. So when we water in our compost extract, it's with all RO water. We've done water testing. We've looked at trying to run just dechlorinated water, but there's too much other stuff. There's too much sodium, there's too much nitrates in the water. All of that and the chlorides are gonna bind up nutrients, that they'll lock out nutrients in our soil. So we have to run reverse osmosis water here in Long Beach. And so we have a 300-gallon tank. We just have one, we have 4 tanks, we're only using one at the moment. And then we've piped in RO to every room, and then we'll hand mix any nutrient feeds with the organic alive nutrients, as well as any of the other stuff that we have to add in, and we'll mix all that up, and then we'll water all that in. Because the challenging thing with irrigation lines in living soil is that when you run biologically active, like actual waterings, they're gonna plug up the lines, and inevitably things get stuck in the water lines. And the solution for that, when you farm hydroponically, is to run a cleanse solution or some other microbiology killer through the water lines.
Which kills everything.
Exactly, and they run it through the media too, but we can't do that. So we have to hand water, and that's part of the reason, you know, we're cultivating a premium product. Is there's so much attention to detail to actually get it, you know, to harvest, to get it to trim, to get it to the shelf. There's just a lot involved in, and it's a lot of hands-on work.
A lot of love.
Absolutely.
A lot of extra love and care that other people don't even think about putting in. These guys are going the extra mile, the extra step, even to keeping your compost. You know what I'm saying? Look at this bin. This bin costs more than most people's tents with their 2-light setups. I already know.
Straight up.
It's just
Straight
everything to the T's. When you guys see us pass by a wall and you see how everything's put up, all that stuff's done with care. This is all DPS panels.
Yup, everywhere, yeah.
This is not cheap. These guys went all out to put a beautiful facility together to make sure that the flower gets to you guys exactly how it should.
appreciate that.
Straight up, thank you. Yeah,
No, it's
it
true.
means a lot because we know you've seen a lot of places too,
Yeah.
so it definitely means a lot for real.
I go back to even Florida days. I said Florida, Colorado. I mean, 18 years of seeing grows.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Straight up,
And
that's
then
awesome.
I put you guys right at the top with preferred gardens. There's very few spots that we've walked through as first smoke and been like blown away. And this is definitely one of them, man. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I can't wait to try the product again.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming by. We really appreciate you giving the tour and seeing what we're about here at No Till Kings.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Yo, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for coming by.
I can't wait for everyone to see this. This is crazy. Yo, what a treat. No-till kings. We get to learn what no-till is. I got to meet half the worms in the population, but nah, we had a blast. Their flower is incredible. It's something like I've never seen before. The strains they're hunting, the rooms, how they're doing it, the amount of soil they have to move, how they're hand watering every single plant every day. All that goes into the care of the product, all the way into that 8th jar where you can see the labels put on perfectly and everything's seamless. I mean, it's just done different. You can tell, just like we can tell. That's why we're here. It's been a blast. No-till kings. I'm Blackleaf, you know that. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to show you guys a facility like this. They're setting the bar for living soil. You can go all over the country, all over the world. Very few places you're gonna see doing it like the No-Till Kings. If you come to California, you have to try their product. Get on the Patreon, check these guys out, get on their website, find out where you can get No-Till Kings and try it out. Tell us what you think. I know you're gonna love it the way we do. I can't wait to get into the smoke. No-Till Kings, first smoke of the day, baby.